Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Andrew's Life. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. Well, unless you've been living under a rock or you just chose to completely tune out what's going on in this country, I'm pretty sure all of you by now are well aware the government shut down. The government's been shut down now for a month, and people that are on SNAP have still not received any money on their benefits. Now, for a second, there's some of you that might depend on SNAP for whatever reason. Some of you are probably had a little bit of hope because there was a judgment that was apparently passed that basically Trump needed to put money on SNAP benefits. And then I guess the case went to another court, and another judge decided that he didn't have to put money on the benefits. So it's safe to say at this point, I don't think any of us knows exactly what's going on with SNAP. I don't think anybody really knows what's going on with SNAP or what's going on with the government shutdown. Like I said before, I look at the government shutdown as as the Democrats and the Republicans having a freaking tantrum. And despite them having a tantrum, they all still get their paychecks. Unlike federal workers, they have to work their jobs in order to get paid. Many of them are now having to work second jobs in order to be able to pay their bills during this government shutdown. And there's been no word on when the government was going to open back up. There's been no word on when people who are on SNAP are going to get their SNAP benefits. And I know there's a lot of you out there that you feel that the majority of the people that are on SNAP are abusing the system. And a lot of you are glad that Trump is cracking down on SNAP and this and that and the third. And there's a lot of you fellas out here that are making videos making fun of the women that are on SNAP and on Section 8. And although I got my opinions about Section 8, I also got my opinions about SNAP, which I've done videos about those topics on this channel fairly recently. At the end of the day, I am a human being, and I try to have some compassion for people that are down and out. Now, I don't believe in coming on and poking fun at people because they may have been on SNAP for however the hell long, and now just out of nowhere, practically overnight, their SNAP benefits are being pulled, and now they're looking in their cabinets and they have little to no food, and now they're scrambling around figuring how they're going to get enough food to make a meal for their family. I don't believe in kicking people while they're down. Rather the person may have been living off of SNAP because they've been living a reckless life, or a person may have been living off of SNAP because they legitimately need a SNAP. Whatever the reason is, that's a whole nother video, and I've got videos about that. But as a human being, I just don't believe in kicking people while they're down. I just think that's a dick move, and I just don't believe in that shit. Because the truth of the matter is, even if Trump cut SNAP for everybody, even if Trump cut Section 8 for everybody, the question that y'all need to ask yourself is, are your taxes going to go down? Are your taxes going to be lower? Like the next year when you file your income tax, are the income tax rates going to go down? I highly doubt it. And another question that I think all of us should ask ourselves is, Let's say he cut Section 8 and SNAP altogether. I mean, what benefit would those cuts have on us normies? What benefits would us normies have? I mean, will us normies be able to benefit off of the cut of Section 8 and SNAP? I mean, how would it benefit us? Now, contrary to common belief and contrary to how I even feel about certain people being on SNAP and Section 8, I can name a few potential, I'll just say, negative repercussions of people being cut off of Section 8 and SNAP, which I'll get to in a second. But I just wanted to come on here and do a little bit of venting because, you know, I just think it's absolutely immature and just downright cruel to make videos making fun of people that are on that are on those type of government benefits. One day they can go to the store and buy what they need to buy. They can feed their family, feed themselves. Just like that, the next day their card is cut off, and now they can't get what they need for themselves and their family. And I think that's pretty shitty. I mean, I think if the government wants to make a correction on those type of programs, which, yeah, those programs do need a correction, I think a much better and more humane way to do it is, like, maybe every month, just decrease the amount of money these people get on food stamps just a little bit. Like, maybe per month, maybe per month, decrease the benefits by maybe 2.5%. Every month, decrease it by 2.5%. I think that would be a much more humane way to handle those type of situations. And when it comes to Section 8, again, each month, make the Section 8 recipient pay maybe 2.5 to 5% more towards their rent. Like maybe for Section 8, I would say maybe, every month just make that person pay just a little bit more money towards the rent. A little bit more money. Like, even if they decided, okay, well, each month you're going to have to contribute $10 more than the last month towards rent, or $20 more, or $50 more every month towards rent, depending on how much rent was where they lived. I think something like that would be a more humane way to handle those type of situations. So while you guys out here celebrating a lot of these women, losing their Section 8, losing their SNAP, you got a lot of you single men talking about, well, these women are going to come back to us. They're going to go back to treating men better, this and that and the third. And some of them, okay, they might. Many of them, I doubt it. But even the ones that do, understand one thing: they're not. Even if they did go back to treating men better, it's not going to be for the right reasons. So I'm not sure that I would be celebrating these single mothers getting their benefits cut. And just to be fair, there's also a lot of men out here that are utilizing these benefits. And I think some of them need to get off their ass and get a job and work and quit talking about how they got mental problems when the biggest mental problem that they have is probably laziness. I'm just saying. But, again, another video, another discussion. But on this video, I'm just asking you guys to just dig within yourself. Find that part of you that is still a human being. Find that part of you that still knows how to do a little bit of critical thinking. And find that part of you that can separate yourself from politics. Because, as I say again, the Democrats don't care about the American people. The conservatives don't care about the American people either. They're two rings of the same vulture. I said it before, I'll say it again. And I will, and yes, I do admit my stupid ass did vote for Trump. But, you know, but despite that, I think at this point, many of us ought to be able to see crystal clear that either party cares about the American people. I mean, clearly, the government rather see a bunch of people starve and go without their food, go without basic necessities, than to come to some sort of sensible agreement to where we can once again have the government open up again and our tax dollars will be doing what they're supposed to be doing. But despite this government shutdown, you still got federal workers not getting paid. You still got a lot of families that are relying on SNAP that won't be getting their food like they should. Holidays are right around the corner and the government is still shut down. And due to the government shutdown, for some of you that are used to flying out to go visit your family for the holiday, you may not be doing that this year because your ticket that you may have purchased a year in advance, that flight might get canceled because there's not going to be enough workers to accommodate the traffic that normally happens around this time of the year. So for those of you that are still hell bent on everything that Donald Trump does is golden, is right, is correct, and he could do no wrong. For some of you, when you go to take your little trip out of town, and that travel and your travels involve having to fly, you might be in for a little bit of a surprise when it comes to your flights. Your flight might get canceled. Just saying. And for those of you that are celebrating people losing their benefits, and you're one of these people that, oh, they need to quit being lazy, they need to get a job, they need to start working. Well, let me name off at least a couple of negative effects of these benefits being cut, the way that Trump is intending to cut these benefits. I mean, there's been a lot of people out here that have been landlords for several years. And I would say their whole entire portfolio were nothing more than Section 8 rentals. So if Trump cuts Section 8 the way that he's talking about cutting Section 8, there's going to be a lot of these landlords that are going to go out of business. And there's also a lot of businesses that have started their business to serve these landlords, such as, you got people that do plumbing, electrical work, construction work. You got your supply stores like Lowe's, Home Depots, and depending on what part of the country that you reside in, Menards. A lot of those places are going to feel the wrath too if too many of these Section 8 landlords have to hang it up and go out of business due to a lack of Section 8 tenants renting from them. And also, with that being said, certain properties that are currently being purchased for Section 8 rentals, or the properties that may have been purchased within the last several years for Section 8 rentals, more of those properties are going to be sitting on the market. So it's going to also have a negative effect on the real estate market. And for some of you that are in the comments on certain videos, you're telling these people to grab it by the bootstraps, get a job, start working, quit being lazy, quit relying on the government. I mean, that's all well and good, but again, I'm going to ask you to put on your critical thinking cap just for a second. And I'm pretty sure for some of you, whether you realize it or not, one of the reasons why you may even have your job, one of the reasons why you're making the money you're making and you're doing good in life is because you do got some of these people that are on their benefits. And due to the benefits that they're on, they're able to use their money to purchase your products or services, whether any of us want to realize it or not. And again, despite how I feel about Section 8 and SNAP, despite how I feel, like I said, there's another part of me that is able to separate myself from the political BS and just do plain Jane critical thinking and recognize some of the negative effects of these programs being cut at the rate that Trump intends to cut these programs. And as far as the negative effects on SNAP being cut, again, a lot of the people that are on SNAP, they tend to shop at places like Walmart. So I think Walmart could feel the wrath a little bit if Section 8 gets cut too much, too quick. For a lot of the foreigners who own these nail salons in many of these cities, they're going to most likely feel the wrath. Because some of these people that get their nails done, get their hair done, buy their hair products, the money that they've been using for that will now have to go towards buying food for their family. So a lot of these foreigners are going to probably feel a wrath due to the cut of SNAP benefits. And there's a lot of other businesses out here that a lot of these recipients probably go to, and they give a significant amount of their money to, that they will no longer be able to do because that money will now have to go towards, food and housing. So, for those of you that want to be super mean and you want to make videos picking on women that are on these kind of benefits, just at least in the back of your mind, take into consideration some of the negative effects that those people being off those benefits could have on us normies. Could have on some of you people that have started smaller businesses to where many of your customers are probably on SNAP. They're probably on Section 8. Now, me personally, I'm just getting into the whole real estate investing game. And I'm not going to have any Section 8 properties out there. I'm not doing Section 8. But I also realize that there's a lot of landlords out here that their entire portfolio are Section 8 tenants. And so I guess what I'm trying to tell you guys is watch what you wish for, watch how you treat people, and don't kick people while they're down. That's just a fucking dick move. Don't do that shit. And some of these people that are on the programs, like I said, some of these people are on the programs because they need them. Some of these people might be on the programs short term, temporarily. Maybe they might be on it for a few months, and then when they get their act together, they'll get off the program. And in closing, I do agree that, there are a lot of people on these programs that shouldn't be on them. I do agree that the programs do need to be revamped. There is a lot of fraud and abuse going on. I do agree. But like I said earlier in the video, I just think there's a more humane way to correct the issues that these programs have. I think there's more of a humane way to do it. I really do. Like I said, for Section 8, each month, this made the person pay maybe an additional $20 more towards their rent. For food stamps, depending on how much food stamp money they get per month, just make the person, just give the person, again, give that person maybe $20 to $50 a month less than the previous month, and work that until it gets to the point where, okay, they no longer qualify for assistance. Now they're going to have to do what they got to do on their own. And so, and as far as the government shutdown is concerned, I'm going to stand by what I stand on, which is the Democrats, the Republicans are having a tantrum. They don't really give a shit about none of us as far as I'm concerned. I mean, how you going to have a government shutdown for an entire month and not pay your workers? But still, these politicians are still receiving their income. I mean, you got federal workers that are in food, that are in food kitchen lines because they don't have the money to buy their own groceries. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these federal workers are also behind on their bills. They're behind on car payments. They're behind on their mortgage. There's probably medical procedures that their children need that they can't do right now because they don't got the money to pay for all that. And I'm pretty sure that at least a few of these federal workers, they probably had to quit their job and take a job in the private sector in order to be able to pay their bills so they can, take care of their families and take care of themselves, which is real shitty. And reasons like this are the reasons why I will no longer side with one political party or another. I mean, that's just where I stand. At the end of the day, I'm a human being. I don't believe in kicking people while they're down. And I think right now a lot of American people are getting the short end of the stick due to what's going on with the government shutdown. And so yeah, that's just where I stand. So where do you guys stand on this topic? I would like to hear from you guys in the comments. And on that note, y'all stay blessed. And remember, the next time you see somebody that's struggling, don't kick them out. Don't kick them while they're down. If you're not willing to say something nice to these people or help these people in one way or another, then just shut the hell up and keep it moving. So until next time, stay blessed.